Okay, I am here with Randy, the famous Randy with her little guy Max trailer. My name is Sandy Johnson, and I'm going to be helping Randy do a big off-grid installation of Xantrex batteries and Xantrex 3000 watt inverter and solar and a whole bunch more. So we're excited to get on with it.
Absolutely. So excited.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's do it.
Now, if you want to lay it down on its...
There they are, the batteries. They weigh about 68 pounds, Sandy's saying.
Now this is the Xantrex 3000 watt inverter.
Okay, Xantrex 3000 watt inverter.
Unboxing.
Unboxing. Oh, so exciting.
This is the Xantrex Freedom XC Pro. So this is their top of the line 3000 watt inverter and 150 amp battery charger.
Oh my gosh.
So when you're on shore power, you can recharge the batteries at a rate of 150 amps per hour. Which, you know, in your case, you have 480 amp hours. So, you know, you want to be able to charge the batteries up pretty, you know, fast.
Right.
Or as fast as you can. You know, if you've run them down, you know, boondocking somewhere.
So you said that's how much watts, or how fast does it charge up? I know you
150 amps per hour off of shore power. So you have...
I know the bag was rattling, so say that one more time.
Oh, 150 amps. This has a battery charger that will run off of shore power at a rate of 150 amps per hour.
Okay.
So if you run, like I said, you have two 240 Xantrex lithium batteries, so that's, you know, 480. So, you know, divide 150 into 480, so, you know, in a little over 3 hours, you can have your batteries charged back up and, you know, hitting the boondocking road again.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting.
And this 3000 watt inverter will allow you to run your air conditioner off batteries, basically everything in this coach. Your microwave, your air conditioner, whatever you need to do, everything. These
so
batteries
excited.
will run it.
I am so excited.
Yeah. This is a Victron Lynx Power In. It's a 1000 amp bus bar system, but it's super nice. I mean, you can see it's heavy duty, high quality. But the good thing is you can just hook all your fuses to it. Any of your 12-volt wires. I mean, it's just a nice clean system to use for all your 12-volt wiring. Here. This is your Victron MPPT Smart Solar Controller. This is good for 400 watts of solar. So we'll be wiring your solar system into this. It's Bluetooth, so you can access it by your phone and monitor your solar, whatever. And so we're going to be installing that on a wall in this area as well. So these are the main components that we're putting inside your seat base here. And then, like I said, we'll have to drill a hole through the floor so I can run the new 120 volt wires to your breaker box, and we'll be replacing the breaker box. But this is these are the main items that are going to go in here.
Looking for a spot to cut out because we need to vent. Did I hear you say that?
Yeah.
And why do we do that?
Well, see how this has fans?
Okay, yes, I do.
Okay, right. So this thing needs cooling. So these fans draw in cool air and blow it out of the front here. So you want to create, I want to make a nice big ventilation area so it can suck in the cool air, and when it blows out the hot air, the pressure of the air in this box blows it back out, a vent. So we want a nice large, ventilation area. So I'll cut that out, and we'll put a nice grill over it, and it's back here under your feet, so it's not something you're necessarily going to see or notice.
Yeah.
You will hear the fan running, from time to time, but it'll be essentially invisible, which is what you want.
Yes. She's taking that apart so that she can cut the vent in the board where she wants it.
And this just broke free from here. Guess I had a little glue on it, and here we are.
Okay,
Not
great.
too bad for taking it apart.
No. A girl with power tools.
Yeah, you can't have enough power tools. Okay. There you go.
Ta-da!
That'll look pretty.
Yeah, that's gonna look really nice.
Okay.
Why do most people upgrade to a lithium battery? Is it just the obvious, being able to be upgraded and not having to worry about hookups and...
Well, the vast majority of people do it because they want to run the air conditioner off of the lithium batteries. I mean, yeah, with lithium batteries you can camp longer, but everything on your 12-volt side, it doesn't really use that much battery power. Your lights might use an amp or something, so you don't need a lot of battery power if you're just using 12-volt stuff. But if you want to run the 120 stuff, like the microwave, the air conditioner, basically the whole coach, just have the freedom of running everything in your coach or in your little trailer here, then you want lithium batteries, and you want like as big as inverter you can get, a 2000 or a 3000, depending on what you want to run.
Well, that brings up another question. How long can I run the air conditioner or the microwave? How am I going to know that?
Well, the Xantrex batteries they're Bluetooth. So we'll download an app on your phone, and you'll be able to look at them anytime, and it'll tell you, what percentage you've used, what voltage you have. I mean, it'll give you all the data that you need to manage the time you're trying to use your batteries. The good thing about the microwave is you don't use it for very long. The air conditioner is the thing that draws the most power, and it's running like virtually all the time. So that's the thing that's really going to pull your batteries down. And I would say, let's see, I think you have a Dometic 13,500 BTU. I think that's what you have. So you should be able to run, I'm going to guess, 3 to 4 hours of air conditioner time. And like I have a Sprinter motorhome, and I cover all the windows. Like if I'm trying to run the air conditioner down here in the south where it's 100, then we take Reflectix and we put over all of our windows, our skylights. You know, we try to block out as much of the heat that's infiltrating, you know, the windows, the skylights, areas like that. And that can add, you know, an hour to 2 hours of runtime if you, you know, basically take measures to cut the heat infiltration. And the same, you know, in cold, you know, if you do the same thing, you can run your furnace, you know, you'll get more heat, basically, heat load in the coat in your little trailer by trying to keep out the heat or keep out the cold. So anyway, so that's, you know, that's a good amount. I mean, I'm going to say 600 amp hours is probably the sweet spot for most people. But, you know, certainly 480, you know, that's fabulous. And you need, if you're installing a 3000 watt inverter, you need at least 300 amp hours of batteries, because the 3000 watt inverter has what's called capacitive inrush current, and it's very high. And so if you don't use at least 300 amp hours of batteries, the inverter can actually blow the BMS in a lithium battery if you're just using, you know, too small of a capacity. So you have to have a minimum of 300 amp hours to have a 3000 watt inverter. Basically 100 amp hours per 1000 watts of inverter is what you need. Okay.
Great, thank you.
This is just aluminum, decorative aluminum sheeting, and you can buy it at like Lowe's or Home Depot. And it comes in all different sizes, but I, you know, use it for a lot of different things, so I just buy, you know, a big sheet like this. And there we have
There
it.
we go.
All right. How do you like that?
I like it. Ta-da.
Let's see if we can hit all of our holes.
Need to reassemble.
With these Xantrex batteries having a convenient power switch, you simply turn the batteries off. That kills all your 12 volt power. And I'm also going to put an inverter battery switch on, so you could also just turn the battery switch off, you know, the inverter battery connection off. So I'm going to give you ways that is easy for you to disconnect your power. And then of course you just disconnect from shore power. And then you could do a reset if you had to. Good.
Good deal.
Okay. Oh, don't turn on.
Nope, I'm just
Yeah.
pointing for the video.
Right. Yeah. So that's another nice feature about Xantrex batteries, is that power button. So I put these little, these are strain reliefs for the 120 volt, basically your utility power wiring. So I like to add those before I get started, you know, so I don't have to worry about, you know, get my hands in tight places once I've got it installed.
Okay, this is the inverter.
Right.
can you tell me? I mean, I honestly I don't know what an inverter does.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just ask.
Yes, please
Just
let me
ask
know.
me
What is an
questions
inverter?
as-
And what does it
Yeah,
do?
yeah. But you can just ask me questions as we're doing this. Okay. So what an inverter does is now in your breaker box you have a thing called a converter. So when you're plugged into shore power, the thing in your breaker box changes 120 volt utility power to 12 volt battery power, right? You know
Okay.
about that?
I mean, I've heard that, but it's when it's kind of foreign language to you, it goes over your head, and so.
Yeah, well, so anyway, so that little breaker box that you have right there,
Mm-hmm.
inside of it, it has a thing called a converter. So when you're plugged into shore power, it changes utility power into battery power.
Okay.
So if you were plugged into shore power, you wouldn't even need your batteries. Your shore power would run that little converter, which would turn everything that you need, like on the fuse panel, to 12 volt power. Okay, so an inverter does the opposite. It takes 12 volt battery power and inverts it, changes it to 120 shore power. So when you're on shore power, I mean we're gonna wire this into your breaker box. In fact, we're gonna be installing a new breaker box so we can wire it in better. So this is gonna be wired into your breaker box. So when you're on shore power, the shore power just passes through this and supplies your 120 circuits, like your air conditioner, your microwave, your outlets. But when you just want to use it off battery, so you're not hooked up to shore power, then this does its job to invert, to use your battery power to create that shore power utility power that you need to run your air conditioner, your microwave, and your outlets. And this also has an automatic transfer switch inside. So if you were plugged into shore power and you had like some kind of a lightning storm, or some kind of the campground power went out, the automatic transfer switch inside this Xantrex 3000w inverter would switch over to your batteries, in milliseconds. So it's like an uninterruptible power supply. I mean, you don't even recognize it. I mean, you don't even know. I mean, I have this same Xantrex 3000w inverter, and I've actually not known that we lost shore power and been running off the batteries for, like 3 hours or something, until I start to get an alarm. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I lost shore power. So then I got to go figure out how to get it back on. So you don't even know, which is good in one way. I mean, it doesn't interrupt anything you're doing. But you do need to pay attention to your sounds, because it'll tell you when the battery's getting low. And then you have to realize maybe you're off shore power and you got to go fix that. Anyway, so that's what we have here. Xantrex top of the line 3000w inverter and 150 amp battery charger. Okay.
Yeah. And that bumper will help keep the battery in place.
Kind of awkward to get to.
Yeah. jumper.
Inside the door, so you switch the house battery power on, and then when you want to use the inverter, you can switch the inverter battery power on.
Okay. Nice.
Have solar panel solar switches. So we're going to have a switch for the solar panel power, and then we're going to have a circuit breaker for the solar controller output to the battery. And you always want to disconnect the solar panel power, and I made a little note so we can tape some notes on here so you'll be able to, you know, see what you're supposed to do. But you always want to turn the solar panel power off before you even think about wanting to turn your batteries off or disconnect your batteries, because otherwise the solar panel power has no place to go. It needs to go to charge your batteries. So if you remove, if you're going to turn your battery off or remove your battery, that solar panel power needs to be off. Otherwise, it is just loading up the solar controller and it will burn it up. It's not made to take the solar panel, basically to be the sink or the storage for the solar panel power. It's just a pass-through. So the batteries are what takes the power. So if you're going to ever disconnect or turn off your batteries, you always want to turn off the solar panel power. So that's why I always put a switch for the solar panel power, so you can do that. And then you don't have to, but you can also, I do. I just turn the solar panel power off, and then I also turn the circuit breaker off to the battery. So I'm completely disconnecting the solar before I do anything with the batteries. And then you just reverse it. You turn the solar controller on first and the panel power on last. So, anyway.
Oh, that's cool.
And cut some. We'll just cut a little bit at a time. Until we make it a little bit bigger. Together. So there.
Yeah, nice and snug.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. So the reason I got you two different colors is because it might be easier in your mind if you just think to yourself, black is house power, house battery power. Red is inverter. You know what I'm saying? Without you having to look at the label, because if they were both black, you might forget. You'd say, which one's battery and house and invert? You know. So I thought this might be an easier visual
Yeah, I think it will be helpful.
for you to remember. Both of these, this is going to be on and on normally. When you want to disconnect you want to disconnect the batteries because you got to do a reset on the inverter. You're removing them for the winter. I don't know, whatever you want to do. Anyway, you always want to turn solar panel power off first, and then turn your solar controller off second, and then the reverse when you start them back up. Okay?